What up? Welcome to Binge Eater Podcast. It's your boy, the South Spouse, here with Donnie Duckets, Big Lynch, and Tom as well here. Big guest. Thanks for coming, by the way.
No worries. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
It's a big episode, actually, because we missed the last two. Was it the last two? But big episode. We got Tom for the comeback episode. And it's also a big episode because I think I got to come clean. I think my entire life I maybe took 2 L's. And I may have like doubled that number, maybe tripled it. Because for those that don't know, Creator Clash ended up losing $250,000, and it was entirely my fault.
Did you get them fined or something?
No. Actually, charity owes me money, and I'm invoiced multiple charities. I think Tom's a good guy to have on because I was on his podcast, your live stream, for about 3 hours talking about Creator Clash.
I think it was almost 4. It was really long. And yeah, you're a trooper for that. The chat fucking hated you. The comment section still fucking hates you. They were going after you. But I had fun. I had fun with you on. I think it was good to debate some of the callers. Yeah, it was good to hear your perspective. And I to this day stand by what you said. I think you didn't go too off the reservation, but obviously, you know, with some of these events, people just don't want to hear one side of it, right?
Pretty crazy that like I was all out there and I was like, yo, f all y'all, and then I got punched out of the ring though. Hey, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Did you do that after? You did that after.
Wait, I went on your thing after?
Yeah, it was after.
I got punched in the head. I'm a dummy now. I'm stupid.
I was there. I saw you get punched in the head. It looked pretty brutal. I saw you fall into the table or whatever and then be all confused that you were there.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It was just, the whole thing was very crazy. I don't have a fighter in me. I got a performer in me, and like the performer in me came out and I was like, this guy's not going to help me box this wrestler. Were you at that warehouse after party, by the way?
I was there as well, yeah.
I didn't see you there. Did you leave early?
I was there for like half an hour. I went there and I kind of felt like I was in enemy territory and I got out of there.
Oh, really? Why'd you feel like that?
I feel like I just don't get along with that kind of like crowd of YouTuber. There's a very like socialite YouTuber thing going on that feels like high school that I don't really get along with. And I got there. I got there. I saw these there were like OnlyFans girls there. I mean, I assume they were OnlyFans girls. I don't really know what else they do.
Well, did you assume that they were for the same reason that I assumed they were? Because I've seen them on my Twitter timeline spreading their cheeks.
Because
I literally recognize people. I was like, I know like 80% of what the tits look like here from my Twitter timeline. Like just even retweets and stuff. I follow like 20,000 people. You know, someone says something cool once, I follow them. I'll just get tweets of like, I've seen a lot, like all the tits here. It's crazy.
You said you were at Creator Clash too. Did you go to the first one or you only come down for this?
Just the second one.
The second one. What prompted you to go down? Just all the drama online about it, like leading up to it, or?
Some of the drama. I made plans with some YouTube buddies like Emp Lemon and BG Cumby and Rusty Cage to go. So
Rusty Cage.
Yes. So we wanted to go down together, and we
he hung around. I wish he hung around a bit. You should have hung around. Wait, did he hang around a bit? I saw him in the first one.
Yeah. So he was there. I was staying at the same Airbnb that he stayed at, but he had like the pass or whatever to go down to the floor and like get into all the cool events. I didn't have that.
So you just went back to the Airbnb and did coke.
Yeah.
That's sick.
In the bathroom at
Florida YouTuber moves. No, I made that up. No, when I was in
well, what did you think of the actual event? I'm sure you maybe covered this, but like for our,
I mean, while I was there, it was entertaining. Did you guys go? I mean, obviously Harley did. You guys go?
I was working the corner, so I was literally like live right there.
Oh, okay.
Guy literally live let me get punched out of the ring.
I may have convinced him to go and do it.
I thought it was super entertaining. It was fun. I've also been to a Misfits into Zone event, and that one was not nearly as fun, to be honest.
Which one did you go to? I agree, but I had the same experience. Which one did you go to?
You're biased because
I am biased, and I want to say I did also have fun. And when I went to Misfits, and now that Creator Clash lost like 250K, Creator Clash 2, I'm like, I see the difference there. Yeah. They really tried to do the most, and they just spent way too much money.
But do you think it's a matchup thing also? Like, did you find the card to be better than maybe the Misfits card you went to? Like, were you more interested in who?
Well, what card was it, Tom, that you were?
So to be honest, on neither of the cards that I know most of the fighters, the reason I went to the DAZN fight is because my friend Brandon Buckingham was fighting Ice Poseidon. I don't even know who the headliner was.
That's a sick fight. I like that one.
It was great, yeah. So I went out there with some buddies, like Jet Neptune, and we were hanging out there, and we were watching the fight. It was fun because it was Brandon. He's my friend, and I wanted to see him win, and he did win. So that made it particularly excellent, and it was cool to meet some people I met there. But the event itself, outside of that, to be honest, was pretty boring. There wasn't a lot really pulling me in and captivating me. The commentary wasn't great. The fighters that went weren't that entertaining. They seemed like they wanted to win, but they didn't seem like they were really firecrackers. I will say Creator Clash was more fun. I thought it was good. I did not know most of the people on the card. Even the guy that iDubbbz was fighting, Alex Wasabi, I had heard his name obviously because he's pretty big, but I'd never seen his content.
Yeah, I knew him. I didn't know much of the card.
You, so
yeah.
To be honest with you, I was looking at the card, and I wrote a video about this today that I'm going to record soon because the iDubbbz video just came out about how they lost 250K, and I was looking at the card, and I had commented on this before in another video, but it's especially apparent to me now that I see how many losses they've had. They really didn't pick anyone that was like huge to be on the card. The biggest person is iDubbbz himself. And it seems like a lot of the people that were on the card are people who struggle to pull even 50K, 100K on their channels. And I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone and say that those are horrible analytics, because on my second channel, I get videos that don't crack 100K, and that's fine.
No, you're allowed to be honest about analytics in this house. This is the home of a washed up YouTuber, bro. Like, I think if you want to, I was top 3, and now what am I doing?
This is the house that analytics built.
Now you're having fun.
Let me find the card. So Creator Clash 2 card. I'll get a picture of it just so I can look at it fully, and we can talk about it.
Although, like, you know, like I found, for me personally, I found the female boxers to be interesting on the card. And quite a few cards have come up where I was like, you know, I don't know if you know Barbie 6 is. I really wanted to see her box. Yodeling Haley's really good at this somehow. I don't know why I said somehow, just I didn't expect it. But like, yeah, I mean,
see, but I feel like you're thinking from the perspective of someone who's really familiar with the YouTube community and like your peers. Whereas I think for the average viewer, I mean, you look at someone like Myth. I mean, Myth undoubtedly is a big name, and Myth was super famous like 5 years ago. But Myth is not selling tickets. If you go to Myth's Twitch streams, he's getting 300 live viewers. He's getting less than me.
Yeah,
and I'm not nearly as famous as Myth was at his peak. So it's like, you know, you have even Dad. Nathan Barnett cannot crack 50K views on his YouTube channel. How the fuck is he expected to sell tickets? And this is the case for, I'd say, 75% of the people here. Abelina Sabrina, who gives a shit about Abelina Sabrina outside of the fact she dated Gus Johnson? People are not watching her videos. The same goes for a lot of these fighters. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of these people, I was just like, oh, I don't watch their, I don't watch a lot of their content, but I definitely knew some people. And I mean, all that is I
mean, that's the thing. I think you need people who are pulling views. I mean, even Chris Raygun. Chris is someone whose videos I used to love. He doesn't really upload that much anymore. But you go to his channel, he doesn't fucking post.
What's crazy is like it's got to be strategic in the sense that if you're going to set it up in somewhere like Florida, you got to think of like who is a big YouTuber in Florida willing to come and will motivate people to go. Because like when I would go to VidCon, there would be some creators who have come and gone and their views were maybe, you know, in the low 100,000s, maybe less. And they just happened to be at the right place where they would have the most people mobilized to them. And some of these people can sneaky pull numbers. Some people have the type of audience that could do that, you know? I mean, Sam is a perfect example, Sam Hyde. Like some of the views on his video may not be bumping so much, but that's a guy that could probably mobilize people to a particular place.
But Sam also has all these projects like Fish Tank that are popping off, and he has all these like he has so many cultural events every year. I'm just saying, I think he could move people. Just as an example, he could probably move more people than someone who has a similar audience size as him. True. Like he's just that some creators have like
that they're literally like influencers. Like, I hate the term, but like they can get people to move. And Creator Clash did have a packed house. No, wasn't it like pretty full there? That
there were quite a few people there, but I think the real
second
money they
one, I
make
think.
is on pay-per-view. No,
that's
I
for
think
sure.
the one
That's
question I've been thinking about since we've been following this boxing arc that Harley's been in, and we've been watching from like the first events all the way to now, is I wonder how much is like there's so many DAZN events now. There's so many like influencer creator type boxing events. Are people sort of not as excited about that? You know, like the energy around it. Has it died down a bit? Not to say that would be a full reasoning, but I feel like there's so much out there. It's like one of the questions we asked when we were making this, like, we made like a documentary thing about it, and we were asking, like, you know, is it just too saturated now? Is that possible?
I think undoubtedly the novelty has worn off since the first one. Because the first one, I mean, sold twice as many tickets, and part of that was the novelty of having an event that wasn't DAZN or Misfits, that was run by iDubbbz, and it was kind of, you know, seemingly more independent, less corporate thing. But at the same time, I think that just because it's become more competitive doesn't mean you can't succeed. I think you have to. I mean, even in iDubbbz released a video, and he said today, he was like, I didn't account for the fact that maybe I just wouldn't be guaranteed the same success, and clearly he wasn't, because these fighters just did not pull numbers. They didn't pull viewers. 50K people watching pay-per-view is ridiculous. And he complains about piracy, and piracy is a valid concern and a reason to be mad.
Piracy is a valid concern, but I don't think it's something that you can factor against your numbers quite. You know what I mean? Like, piracy is always like, how much did Creator Clash 1 get pirated? It still must
I'm sure it got pirated probably the same amount as the second one.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if people like the event, they will pay to support it. They will.
Yeah.
People, some percentage of people will. Not everyone. But he should have recouped losses. That's ridiculous.
I think like if the event was structured identical to last year, then we can almost factor in that it would have made half of what last year made, less $250K. So it would have been a plus $300,000 event if it was done in a way that was identical to last year, which the hotel, the venue, everything was less last year. And we kind of pulled up and we were like, this is sick. This is amazing. I'm like so happy to go into Amalie Arena and box. That's amazing. But I was also very amazed and happy.
Who's paying for all this shit?
The kids. I was happy to go to Youngling and do it there. And that was a smaller place. It seemed really loud there. The energy was good. There's no Taylor Swift in town. A couple of my personal friends who had tickets ended up backing out because they couldn't get hotels and stuff. I think if they just did it at Youngling, then it would have been positive. However, it would have been still way less than Creator Clash 1. And I think that would have still been considered an L.
I think what they really just need is better talent. How the fuck can they not get someone better?
Bro, are you just going to keep destroying me right now?
The thing about you, Harley, is despite the fact that obviously your analytics are not what they were, you still have an interest as a fighter. Same as Dad. Dad is an exception where Dad may not be the most compelling person to the YouTube audience right now, but in terms of a fighter, people think he's very entertaining. He's kind of a character in and of himself. And because you fought last time, I think you have a kind of stock in their head of like, oh, Harley's back. I want to see what he's doing. People will pay for that. People are not paying for, I don't even think people are paying for I Did a Thing. I don't think they're paying for Abilene Sabrina, Haley Sharp, Dakota.
What about Dr. Mike?
I would personally, as a YouTube boxing fan, I would absolutely pay for I Did a Thing. I think he's like, naturally, that guy came out and I watched him box. I was like, this guy's great. I should have boxed him in Creator Clash 1, and I don't even know if I would have won against him. And it was kind of a mismatch there. And I look back and I'm like, thank God I didn't box. But
I think what you need is not
by
just
this hot
YouTube
guy.
boxing fans. You need people who are fans of the YouTubers to get in.
And that's kind of like what Creator Clash initially was going to be. The first one felt like that. I thought the second one did too. Sadly, I was also very excited for Froggy, but that was a guy that it was like, ooh, interesting. You know, we kind of held on to biasedly. We were kind of like, Epic Mealtime should be interesting. Or like, that bacon guy was, box a wrestler, which was interesting. I thought Wasabi pulled numbers. I've seen him in Toronto, like pull like big numbers at like a meetup. I just assumed, but you never know like how sneaky someone might have, like a crazy fan base in Florida or who knows what. But they packed that house. They just got destroyed on the pay-per-views. And I think it was they just overshot. It's a learning experience, I'm sure. But
I think the matchmaking part is probably one of the hardest things to do, right? You're trying to convince a YouTuber who's got their own thing going on to get in the fight. I mean,
someone who's
like
not a fighter.
It's not like, oh, come to this live show with me. It's like, come to this live show and also potentially get your ass kicked. You know,
right.
Like, people are really getting beat up. Like when you're in the back there, you see it. You know, it is. I imagine it's not an easy pitch. People have to really want to do it. And so you probably have some limitations as to who you can attract unless you're running your own promotion. Like, you know, like usually it is like the iDubbbz or the KSI or the Logan or those guys who are sort of anchoring the entire thing and sort of have their undercard built underneath that, right?
I agree. It's probably a difficult pitch, but I feel like it's also the most important pitch of the entire thing. Because if you can't sell pay-per-view, it's fucked.
I currently have I mean, I don't know if it's still standing because I had passed on it at the time, but I have an offer for 3 fights with another promotion. And I thought about that. I was like, you know, I think I caused like a big stink. I don't know how much of it translated to ticket sales. I mean, I don't know how much of it translated to ticket refunds too. But there was like an interesting aspect to just YouTube boxing and the whole space, like getting punched out of the ring and just posting about it constantly can kind of increase your stock. Whereas a real boxer, it's just like, you got to go and win. YouTube, it's like, if you're going to lose, do it in spectacular fashion and we'll see if we can get you back in that ring. It always, once again, YouTube just always operates in different rules. But I think like ticket sales was one thing, but it's the pay-per-view. If you had it locked down for Pirates, I don't think it would have translated to more sales necessarily, because people that pirate aren't really the same people that want to buy it. At least from my experience, when I pirate things that I would have never bought.
Do you believe that statistic about 1 million people watching pirated?
I think that, like, if you maybe, there's many ways that you could add those numbers up, or maybe websites have demonstrated false numbers and they added it up earnestly thinking it was accurate. But
I can see the logic. I mean, at the end of the day, when something's free, there's no like.
Well, Logan Paul KSI
just
didn't
like
do 20.
Clicking a link and going to look at it, right? If you're even quasi interested,
didn't Logan Paul KSI do 20 million? Am I making that number up? Did they do 20 million?
I don't think any real public numbers.
$20 million or 20 million.
I thought it was 20 million pay-per-views. Am I an idiot? No, purchases.
20 million pay-per-views would be really crazy.
I mean, that is the biggest one, right? I guess I could see that.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't think.
Or was it 2 million?
No, it's not 20 million.
Oh,
20 million would be like, so that would be like,
yeah, 20 million.
20 million is like, he bought fucking.
He destroyed the next biggest fight by a huge margin.
Yeah, so 2 million people bought that one. Like 1 million sounds like quite a bit. 3 million sounds like a lot. But regardless, I still don't think that number translates to people buying the pay-per-view. There's
Yo, I had probably one of the most interesting pay-per-view experiences out of anyone watching Creator Clash, and that I watched it in the woods by the fire. Like, I was hiking and I was like, oh, I have reception. Let me see if I could catch Harley's fight.
And then you saw me getting
flying out of the ring.
Then you saw
John Morrison moving forward.
I was with like 2 other buddies too.
I would have called
screaming at my phone.
Well, how did you find that? What was the most entertaining fight to you when you were live there, Tom? Like what to you like resonated the most when you were watching?
Harley's is really good. Obviously, you know, I'm on this podcast, so I don't expect to say that, but it was good. The physics of it, of you being thrown around, was really, really good. It was funny.
The long hair, my
the hair.
Like, you're gonna look like you're getting thrown around and I was like, yeah, but
you also were. He's shorter than you. He was like throwing you. Like I thought it was WWE.
If I had like my 40 pounds that I lost, it would have been really helpful in that scenario. Yeah. I think he would have gasped.
You would have been slower though.
I liked the Jarvis Johnson and Aaron Hansen one was good.
Oh, I liked that fight too. I liked Dad and AB.
Yeah,
I'm
that one
so
was
sad
good.
that it got cut, like that they ended it there. I liked that one.
Yeah, so I mean, those were good. The title fight I found kind of boring, but I mean, it was IDub, so I liked watching it.
So I actually wanted to talk to you about something else now that we've
Sure.
addressed the L's that I've taken. If you would never let someone fuck your wife on camera for your mutual business that you share with her, you don't think? Or do you think,
No,
like, you're not
I
married
would
right now,
not.
right?
I'm not
You're not-
married, but regardless,
Me
that would just
neither.
not happen.
But you don't think like in maybe like when you're like 40, you'd be like, and it's making a lot of money, you wouldn't do that?
I mean, I guess if I'm on the verge of like killing myself because I'm so broke, maybe I would do it. But otherwise, I feel like, I mean, the question about, I know you're talking about Adam. My biggest quandary with Adam is like, he's not broke. He's a multimillionaire. There's what does he need to buy that he can't buy? What does she need to buy
How
that she
would
can't
you-
buy?
How would you describe this if you had to describe this to like my parents? What would you say to them? So everyone listening. Basically, my parents are listening. How would you tell them about? And they're fine. You could tell them about. So you could say
You can
whatever.
tell them about BBC.
Yeah, you could tell
There's
my
this-
parents about BBC.
There's this
Yeah.
podcaster named Adam22. He's a big rap podcaster, and he's kind of evolved more recently into like a podcaster. He does this show called Plug Talk, where he and his wife talk to stars naked on OnlyFans, and that makes him a bunch of money. And he's basically like a psychopathic money-making machine. There's a bunch of dubious allegations about him that I've covered on my channel in regards to an underage girl. But regardless of that, big psychopathic money-making machine, and he and his wife do together. They also do together with other girls, but until recently, it's not been a thing where they've had other guys involved. But he apparently was aware of the fact that that was the most requested thing for her to do in her independent career, to do for the guys that aren't him. And so she decided to do it with the most stereotypical star-looking black man she could find. I believe his name is Jason. And she shot a video with
The
him.
most not stereotypical porn star name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, true.
Not a lot of thunder
Jason.
in the name.
But
yeah.
his name is like Jason. His name is literally like Jason Chode or like Jason Cock or something like that. Like that's his.
Oh, there you go.
It's
He
something
really
out of
got it in
box.
the second half.
Yeah. Well, I was just kind of avoiding it for the sake of your mom.
Jason Chode.
You got
But-
us with the misdirect.
But regardless, they did a video together, and I don't know if it's actually out
He
yet.
fucked her.
Oh, he fucked her.
He fucked his wife.
He fucked his wife for real, on video.
For real? Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure-
Look at you. You nutted to it. You're crazy, man.
I nutted to it. Are you kidding?
I think it comes out on July 13th.
I think this guy. I think it comes out. So like, it's so funny. First of all, Donnie, what are your thoughts on this? This guy making millions, fucking these girls with his wife, and then they get married in like 150 million.
They got married. They got
Italian
married
castle.
like 1 month ago, by the way, in Italy.
Yeah, they just got married.
Yeah.
and he's like
They also have a kid.
they have a kid, and then they're like, let's fucking you should fuck someone on, you should do that, and she's
Well-
like, I should do that. Like, what do you think about this whole thing?
What do I think about it? I mean, it wouldn't work for me. I'll say that to begin with. Like, it's hard. They're built different. These people are like built different, man. I don't know. They're clearly not jealous about it, but I did see a clip of him say, and I think this kind of perfectly encapsulates it, where I saw a clip of Jason saying like, oh, I intellectualized it. And I
No,
felt
your name,
like
that's
there was-
Adam, but yeah,
Adam.
Oh,
Adam.
I
Adam
called him
said that,
Jason.
and
Yeah.
Is it the clip
Yeah,
where he
sorry.
talks about how he was like, he felt like he was holding
your
back
video.
her career?
No, well,
video,
yeah, like
yeah.
he was saying he didn't
Oh,
want to
okay.
hold back her career, but he also said that like,
He
I intellectualized it and it felt fine, but then after it happened, I felt like a feeling in my gut where it just wasn't right, and
this is
yeah,
me.
that's
like, I was like, well, then what the hell? I could do it too, because I thought that also. I was like, oh, this guy's like letting someone fuck his wife. Like, I don't have that, man. I kind of I mean,
what do you think the bag's going to be at the end of the day?
hold on, because I want to talk to them too.
That's the most irrelevant part to them.
But wait, I low key in a way.
I mean, I think people have money and like
the money. I think is the most relevant to Adam.
Yeah, the money and the clout that comes with it. Because like the truth is, like I saw you had a tweet like 30. Like this has gone everywhere, at least in my world that I consume online.
Yeah,
it's like the combination of money and also there's other stuff going on with his channel that is kind of that I think doesn't necessarily tie in, but maybe a little bit. That he had a lot of people leave his channel. Like he had a lot of stuff going on with No Jumper in general, like where he had a bunch of co-hosts, all this drama went down, they all left. He bounced for a month. He just dipped from his channel.
He was fighting all his cast.
All his co-hosts left. There's like all this stuff that thing you said with the girl came up. A bunch of other stuff came up. A bunch of articles are written, or some was written in Rolling Stone, and he kind of dipped and he came back and like this is like the big announcement when he comes back and I'm like, oh, that's so crazy. Like this is
his comeback to
no, he came back and pretty much within the first week this is announced essentially after taking a month off and after a bunch of his co-hosts. Like he's been rethinking. It seems like he's switching up the channel, but main co-hosts left. And it feels like these are not tied together necessarily, but maybe there's like a little bit where he's he seems to be a person who cares about content and like getting the most views and sort of understands the game of it all. And
he actually I think he's recently lost his rap audience, and he always had this kind of audience, but I think he's moving more in the direction of.
Well, he has like Destiny coming on with like Crip Mac, right? I saw that interview and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Putting Destiny with Crip Mac, who are like obviously very opposite.
But his main guest used to be like Lil Xan.
Rappers. Yeah, it was all guys coming up
like. This is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, though.
No, that's how he blew up. That's how he blew up. That's what made
all
him
the
big.
all the SoundCloud generation basically came through No Jumper, and like some of those you see like the Lil Pumps, the XXX.
But I don't get served that content
like
much
30
anymore
million
anyways.
Huge views. Like he was on that wave really early when no other.
He was touring with them. He toured with Lil Pump.
Didn't somebody get jumped on his podcast like 3 months ago?
But do you think there's any like? Have you followed that part of it? Like I think for me, I look at it, it's like it is hard to relate because for me personally, it's just not a thing that I would do. I'm married and I have a kid, and like so I think I can relate on some.
So is he, bro.
But I would just like the difference is that he's also him and his current wife had he's literally had sex with like
has she had sex with men on camera before that wasn't him before she met? Is that a thing that's available and out there?
I don't know. Because
if I married a star that was having sex with other people on camera out there,
one more doesn't matter.
You mean to tell me like I'm gonna make 7 figures now for you to do one more? Okay,
I don't know, but
he's also girls tomorrow. Also,
he's also drawn the line where he's like, I don't want her to sleep with men, but we're gonna do our thing on Plug Talk, like you mentioned, where it's him and his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's not the case
another
now,
woman for like
that's
years.
Changed.
What?
That's changed now. He's
no, I know. What I'm saying is that he stated that, and now that's like a few years.
Regardless of that, he had a few reservations. He was like, you don't kiss him. He can't come on your face. And there was
these are the things. This is what I was saying before. Is when I kind of
you're
like
already in trouble when you're thinking like this.
Exactly. I was like, wow, I low-key, I don't know if admires the right word. I'm like, that's not me. I'm just like, I don't have that, and I kind of admire when someone has a thing that I don't have. I was like, I can't like let someone fuck my wife and I'm just like cool. I'm like, we're making money, come on, fucking life is weird, bro. Like that's not even like I'm like, you could do that. I don't have whatever that is. I think I would be like probably jealous that someone fucked my wife.
I think it's the other way around. You have what he doesn't. He's like there's something weird in his brain. There's something wrong with him.
No, but
he has desensitized himself.
He's got it in his gut.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because then he's
got it in his gut because everyone does. Most people would not push through that emotion and be like,
exactly,
that's fine.
But I don't want to hear that.
But if you're having the argument,
oh yeah, go ahead.
If you're having the argument with your wife and you just spent the last 5 years having sex with hundreds of women with her,
that you don't have a lot of,
and she's like, listen,
ammo.
I need this is for I need to do this. And
that's what
happens. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. He talked about that conversation, and I mean, maybe he's lying about how it went, but according to him, she asked him.
She gave him out
12 times if it was okay with him. And she was like, I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it if it makes you upset. And he was like, no, that's cool, man. You should do it.
There's 2 ways to read this. And the way I read that, like one way I read it was that women's intuition. She's like, you don't want me to do this. We don't have to do this. And she didn't feel like he was really letting on that he wasn't comfortable. Or if you really think he's a money-making machine, which all signs like his BBC thumbnail with the eggplants point to.
Oh my God,
If,
bro.
I know, that's
Go
the
for
craziest
it.
thing. If you're literally going to try and just like make money off it, then exactly what you said, you get Jason Chode 100%, because that's the guy that like people would look at and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
So
it could
you
not
get
be a
that
white
guy,
It had to
and
be,
you say, you literally go on your podcast and you're like, "Ugh, I didn't feel so good about it. I'm like, do I feel bad that he did it and he's like, my tummy hurts? Or am I like, bro, you fucking sold this fucking
Listen, the title,
like,
the title and thumbnail.
it hurt. And I told her, don't come on the face. Watch there be come on the face, and everyone's gonna point to that clip. Like they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, that's he just played it. I don't know which guy we're dealing with. Content
The
creators.
titling and thumbnail leads me to believe it's like more
A money move.
It's, you know what I mean? Because the title and the thumbnails coming out of his channel are pretty wild.
Harley, you've done stuff with him before, right? Like content.
No, I never did. We tried to do something like a couple years ago, a podcast link up,
I
but
thought you
I never
did.
met him.
Oh no, you
No,
did.
we, like, tweet at each
you
other
did
and
Danny
stuff.
Mullins thing. That's what you did recently. Like, I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Do you think I'm a Brandon op now because I did that podcast? I only thought about that after. I was like, bro, I hope I'm not an op now.
I don't think so. I think maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't think it that way, but Brandon does have a.
I don't want to
historical
be
beef.
anyone's op except for Tommy. I could be
Tommy
his
C.
op.
I think the way to avoid
Yeah.
stuff like that is so like I've made a video that blew up about No Jumper. I think the most popular video on my second channel is about No Jumper. And it's not about this recent stuff. It's because a few months ago people dug up an old blog post he made where he talks about how he had sex with a 16-year-old when he was
Oh yeah, I started to
23 or
watch this.
24, I think. Now I don't know what happened exactly. He now claims that it was like
It was a
it's been
written
misinterpreted.
post, right? Like he was like, she was hot as hell though, still something
Yeah,
like that.
basically, yeah. And he was and
What,
he
wasn't the
describes
quote like, if
relationship.
statutory rape is wrong, I don't want to be right?
Yes,
is that what he
that is
said?
the exact quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark
And
the
so
time,
for the
Lynch, make
purpose
sure
of
you get that.
avoiding any legal action, I would say that it's important to say that that's an allegation, that we don't know what he did. But at the same time, I mean, that post is very concerning. So I made a very popular video about that. And then I went to Los Angeles a few weeks ago, and Flacco, who works for Adam, is a fan of my stuff. And he asked me if I would go on No Jumper. And the reason I made that video in the
You
first
should have
place,
went on Instagram live on No Jumper.
that's what I was going to say. The reason I made that video in the first place is because this like pedo catcher dude went on the No Jumper podcast to talk about this alleged 16-year-old. And that's what blew it up. And Adam never really responded after that guy went on the podcast. He didn't talk about it. He didn't, deny it or anything outside of that, conversation he had with that guy, which he didn't want to have anyway. So I got invited to No Jumper and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go on. But I didn't blindside them. I was like, I'm going to have to talk about this situation or else I'm basically shitting on the fans and I'm basically betraying them. And I'm being, a piece of shit, journalist, if that's what you want to call YouTube commentary channels, right? I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my job. So I got offered to go on, and then I was like, yeah, but I have to talk about this, and they were like, never mind. So that was my.
Oh, I was certain that they were asking you, and they were like, yeah, sure, talk about what you want.
No. I think that like the thing he's talking about when that guy went live, it was not a.
So what happened is they were already live when that guy was on, and when he brought it up, they ended the live stream on YouTube, and that guy was just live on his phone. In fairness, I never talked to Adam. I talked to his producer, so maybe Adam would have said different, but yeah.
Something you probably don't want to talk about. I mean, I think that's been dogging him for a while, though. I feel like that came up like a while ago.
It came up a few months ago. It blew up. There was like a few tweets with like 100,000 likes talking about it, and then it just kind of went away.
Disappeared.
And then he's like, babe, I think you gotta fuck a black man.
Exactly.
We gotta control the narrative here in the
Whether
news.
I like it or not.
I'm goofing around, by the way, with that joke I just made. It didn't.
I don't know,
matter.
like,
it didn't matter if you could. It didn't matter.
Do you guys have friends that are poly? Like I have like one buddy that's poly, and I do find it a little weird. And he met his girl, and she wasn't really into it, and he kind of dragged her into it a bit. I feel like, and it always just seems off to me. But like, I'm not here to judge. Like, some people seem really comfortable with it, but I do think there is a reason why. There is sort of a normal being a bad word to describe this, but the majority of people default to these, kind of binary relationships, like one guy, one girl.
I don't have any.
Or
personal
one
friends
partner, you
that are
know,
like
one
that.
partner each.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had any friends like that. And then I was in LA and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize I have so many friends like that.
Yeah.
But like, that's a place.
You didn't get the invite.
That's a particular place. You know, like,
Do you guys find that
it
like
is
personally disgusting when you hear about that? Like, does it kind of make your stomach churn a little bit?
I just don't have it. I'm not disgusted.
Disgusting.
I'm not,
No, not
I'm not
disgusting.
disgusted. I just don't have it. Like, I don't like,
I think I just think
I would be Sneeko, like how he described it on that podcast and how he acted. Like, that's how I would be. And like, you know, I obviously don't want to be here as like a 37-year-old man being like, I'd be like Sneeko, but like, I'm more like that than anything. I would be.
Maybe
What's
I'm
the Sneeko take? I don't know the Sneeko
He was like,
take.
someone fucked my girlfriend and I didn't like it at all. I couldn't even hear it. I had to walk out of the room. I was like,
they went to
I
a
was all
party. They went
emotional
to like a
after.
swinger party. His
Right.
explanation is he was cheating on her a lot of the time, and so as a way for her to like feel better about it and heal the
That's-
relationship, they went to a swinger
That's
party.
not how that works.
They went to a swinger party, and the way he describes it was like he was like laying down on a bed looking up, and she was like getting hit from the back doggy, and he was supposed to be eating her out or something. So the guy's balls were like above his head. Like,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
where did you
a-
get that's information. That's the position he did. That's what he chose to
That's
do.
the wrong position to take.
You think he regrets that story? Revealing that information?
That's
Hopefully.
what it was. He did that. He
Yeah, I
was
think
there.
so.
That's where all the dust falls.
But
I mean, I guess,
Rains on
I
you.
guess I don't have the clip on hand. I could be misremembering, but it's so specific. And when I think of that, I see Sneeko's face. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened.
I remember him describing like just being in the room and being sort of
That's ballsy.
really
Literally.
like, oh man, this is not.
Oh.
I don't like this situation. You know.
And then
Me
there was
personally,
another thing he was talking about how he was like fucking her, and she was like, or no, he was fucking a different girl, but then like she was moaning next to him, getting fucked by a different guy, and that caused him to not be able to get it up, and then he left, and then they just kind of kept having their fun.
Right.
you know.
That's always like the brutal part. Yeah, I just saw Harley wince. That's
Yeah,
always the
I'm just
brutal
like,
part is
'cause-
when you're leaving the room
Like, how
and
could
you know
make
it's
the
not
mis-
stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
it's
fairness, I
happening.
think-
You're like,
Yeah.
you're
I think
cut from the
Sneeko
team.
does walk that back now. He's not with that girl anymore, I imagine, but
No, she's here now.
I think for me, personally,
Nice.
I'm just a way too like normal relationship to even like consider that. The only way I can consider what he's
I like the
doing
word
specifically-
vanilla, Justin. Yeah, but
Yeah.
continue.
Oh,
Normal.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Is the fact
Vanilla.
that they live that lifestyle from all accounts. They've been doing public, videos forever.
yeah.
So like to get in that mindset, I feel like you have to be kind of in that world, and that's just so far removed from my type of relationships I've ever been in that I don't get it. But I the best way I can explain it in my own head when I'm thinking about what he's saying and what's going on is like, well, it's just that's what people do. That
Even outside of that, even outside of the disgust that I think, or like just kind of the like ooh feeling that you get when
Yeah,
you hear
like the
specific
visceral.
stories. Outside of that, I think I personally would probably avoid being friends with someone like that, and the reason why is because I think that relationships and like sex and like feelings are complicated, and I mean even as Adam says, like when he went through that decision. Afterwards, when he found out it happened, he didn't feel good. He got jealous. He felt weird about it. And I think that if you're regularly exposing yourself to that kind of emotion, then your personal relationships are probably going to be pretty weird. You're probably going to have a lot of like turmoil going on mentally and interpersonally. And for that reason, I probably wouldn't want to be around someone like that. And potentially, even if you're not part of their polyamorous circle, you could just be sucked into some mania that they're dealing with. And if you're close to that person and they know personal information about you, who knows what they're going to do.
I feel like people who are polyamorous and people who are polyamorous and do it as a living are different in many ways. Like, I wouldn't
Do it for a living.
I wouldn't consider like, well, Adam22, like I wouldn't consider their scenario like your regular polyamorous relationship.
Right. He
That's
says
like-
they have a closed relationship.
In
Yeah, he
terms of
did say that,
the
but I
intention,
don't
you're right.
think
But
so.
in practice, don't you think that probably is fucks with them?
Well, I just know people who are like, yeah, my wife and I fuck other people, and they're some of the chillest people I know.
That's it. It's like, I think it depends on if everybody really it has to be very equitable. No one could feel like they're losing out on this scenario.
Can I be ageist for a second? I can't imagine being mentally capable at like 21 years old to do something like that. I could even say in my case, like 24 years old, 25 years, you know, as you get older, I think you might people have more experiences, but like for me personally, like I had like my first real relationship, like 17. So for me at 20 to be like, I understand the complications of emotions and my own emotions, and I can manage being in a relationship or an open relationship with multiple people. Like I didn't have that. I'm not emotionally intelligent for that. I feel like experience wise, you have to be very secure with yourself. And a lot of people, humans at, you know, once you've been an adult for a couple years, you're not really there yet. Maybe, like, I mean, I don't see me changing. I wouldn't even bring my wife or the mother of my baby to like a sex party. God forbid I'm there with her and I'm just like feeling the vibe. I'm like, babe, let's suck this dick. And then 2 days later, I'm like, I can't believe we blew that guy.
Yeah.
And then the one after that too. Like that would be the
Is this
like,
a true story you're telling us right now? Or
no, I wouldn't even go in that situation because then it would be a true story. You think I'm going to go to a party and not be the chillest guy, not do the most? So like, I can't go to one of those things.
I to be honest with this situation, I'm more interested. Like, I feel like this story is obviously popping off right now. Obviously,
that story.
Internet's gonna move on from all this, and I am genuinely curious at what the numbers will be for something like this. Like,
Tom, you don't think they're
going to
move on
it?
from
Like,
this,
I feel like they're going
right?
to tell us because they told us the Trish Paytas one. I remember him saying it was like $500,000 they made on.
Yeah, but I don't think like Tom, you don't
Gross.
think I don't think people would just like.
I don't think he's gonna stop making money off his podcast, but I think he's gonna have a very different audience, and he'll definitely be made fun of forever for this. I will say that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You said that in your video that it'll follow him around. I mean,
That's,
but what if
he is that guy now. He is.
But I don't see him like that. I already saw him as like a savage money making machine, like you said, that, you know, had like sex with other people with his wife. And I'm like, now they brought guys in. That's the step I couldn't do. I could do everything he was doing up until that point. I don't have this.
Imagine all the people who just found out who he is from this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot.
He's the cut guy. To them, he's the cut guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think that there's just the internet's gonna be dunking on him forever for this?
I don't. I think if you just found out about it, we're not
response.
gonna really stick with him though. I
What?
mean, do you think of him as the cut guy, Lynch?
I mean,
I don't, because I just feel like I look at it. I just think it's like I feel like they're in that lifestyle. It's not
most people who use the internet are not like you, though. Most people who use the internet are like Leafy fans who just want to own people.
Well, that's true. That's definitely true. I'm not the norm.
You got it, but like if you're posted up,
but I do consume. I am a high consumer of all content. Like I am very aware of the situation.
You watch a lot of No Jumper.
I've been following it for years. Honestly, I've followed it through almost every iteration of it. To be honest with you, because
you kind of look like you should be on the show a little bit. You do have that vibe. Like if I saw you there, I wouldn't be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like when I see Destiny on it, I'm like, this is weird.
You look like you should be on Impulsive, and Mike and Logan just be murking you the whole time until you leave.
Be the new George Jenkins.
Till I cry. Till I cry.
Yeah.
Like Schaub. Fuck. We have a dinner actually. We gotta go right now. You ever see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I guess I got a taste of this sort of. I always am curious about this because when Harley was going through all that Twitter trauma, like just the amount of like commentary,
the Twitter trauma that I experienced.
All the like, I see a filter through. I see like the negative stuff on the internet, like the amount of like negative shit we get from that is like interesting.
I feel you on that one, bro. Speak a little louder, Lynch.
Okay, I'll shut the fuck up now.
No, keep going.
No, it's okay. No, listen, it's all right. All right.
I wasn't trying to be a dick.
set.
I was just yawning.
No,
It's fine. I wish we had like the fucking
genuinely
last
just-
guys on
just
H.
sleepy. I gotta go to Timmy's to wake myself up.
Don't even worry about it. I wish
I
we had
appreciate
that
Ryan for
H3.
my sake. I appreciate that.
I wish we had the H3 soundboard. I would have that.
You would have
Yeah.
it forever. Yeah.
Zach.
I mean, think
Zach
about
to
it.
clip
Think
that.
about it this way, right? You guys all know who Leafy is here is probably peripherally a little bit, right?
I
course.
do. I
have no idea.
You don't.
Don't worry, Donnie. Just
He's
listen.
a little internet dude. I say little internet dude. He was like one of the most popular YouTubers a few years ago. He got banned for being like a degenerate fucking troll. He was really funny, but he just liked to bully people a lot. He made like 12 videos about this girl named Pokimane, and YouTube banned him.
Yeah, I know
for harassment.
Pokimane.
Yeah.
That's how you know there's something wrong with me.
Don't self-report like that, Donnie.
So he's this kid. He had a big drama with IDubbbz
like
a few years
30.
ago. He's like 30 now, yeah. And he got made fun of very much for being an insecure bully. He was someone who could dish it but couldn't take it. He had a very weak chin, so he got made fun of for that. He kind of looked like a Dr. Seuss character.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
This guy came back to the internet recently after being banned for a while and having trouble getting on any platform. And the first thing he did is go after Destiny, and the second thing he did is go after Adam22. And he's currently ratioing Adam22 to a factor of like 10 times, just for being like, whatever makes you sleep at night, cuck, stuff like that. Leafy, I think most people would probably agree, is less attractive than Adam22. I think if they fought in a ring, Adam22 would seriously fuck him up. I think that Leafy doesn't even show his face really. If he rarely shows his face, and when he does, he gets clowned on these days. It's true. It's true. Leafy doesn't show his face
because his face isn't shown.
It's tough not having a chin. That's a tough one.
Okay. Well, I can assure the audience.
See it.
I can assure the audience that you look normal. Leafy was someone who was relentlessly bullied for his appearance, and I think as a result, he doesn't show his face anymore. This guy is destroying the fuck out of Adam in the public sphere. People are seeing it as a massive win. The guy who won't even show his face, and I think that just shows to me that it's not that hard to dunk on Adam right now. It's not, and this shit will follow him for a little bit,
Yeah, but don't you think like the space of Twitter is like it's some moves are easy on Twitter. I see some things I'm like, if you say this in an argument or like something like being like shut up cuck is so easy to.
That's true. A lot of stuff on Twitter doesn't matter. Like people will make threads about it.
Like for me, Leafy, I saw him come back to Twitter, and I think I was following him like from years ago or something. But I saw him come back on Twitter, and he literally comes out and he's like, "Fuck gay people," and everyone's like, "Oh, the king has returned," and they're literally like so hyped up, and I'm like. You guys got to bring better than that. And that's when I feel old. I'm like here, and even before you were like, you don't like trolling. And I'm like, I do. I love trolling. I just want it to be like.
Well, I think the reason why everyone
anyone to get hurt.
The reason why everyone says the king is back is because who would say that right now? Who would say what he's saying? No one.
But
I don't even think he believes it. I don't think
all of us.
No, I don't think he believes it either. I don't think he thinks. I think he's just doing it, and he's like, "Damn,
getting attention."
It's like 800,000 likes."
Yeah.
And it is like I think about I hung out with John the other week, Zerka, and like if we're gonna talk about like just what people, the digital footprint they're leaving behind, like I'll hang out and upload videos with people that allegedly are. I'll hang out, I'll associate with people that people online are like, this person's John is leaving a digital footprint that is like really fucking crazy right now. One of the craziest. The shit that he's saying is like he's saying weird shit to like 18-year-old girls like live and he's got this whole bit going, and I know the guy in person. He's not like that. But he's doing it. And in the case of like Leafy, where I draw a comparison, why I bring it up is it's like you're not even like monetizing it like the guys are doing. If I could sit here and I could talk so much shit about Sneeko and everything, but then I come back and I'm like, yeah, but it's working and he's monetizing the shit out of it. Or I could look at certain creators and it's like, I don't believe that. I don't think they believe it. They're acting this way, but they're monetizing it. So when Leafy's like out there and he's like, fuck gay people, and everyone's like, what's he actually getting from that? And I know I'm just breaking it down to money, but if everyone knows who you are and that's the digital footprint you're leaving, it's like, what's the purpose? You don't even believe that. It's not even a good joke. So we're like hyped up that like anime profile pics on Twitter with like bot accounts are like, fuck yeah, shit. Like, I feel like it's not
just shock jocking it.
But I like that though.
No, I know, but he's doing it in just like the edgelord fucking failure way.
It's just bold, I guess, and that's why people are like, "Oh shit," because he's throwing it out there, and he just keep doing it because people like it, people applaud it, and You know, I don't want to shit on people's parade. I like a good laugh. I'm just like, damn, I wish it was better. Like Sam's a perfect example. This guy says shit that like he'll say some stuff and I'll be out with like people and they'll say some stuff. I'm like, nah, I know this guy. He's goofing around. It would never be like that. And then like the next day he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And I'm like,
you're right.
But
the problem
is,
why would
the problem is
better?
the problem is he's funny. That's like the roughest part about the whole Sam thing. Like, that's a very funny guy. That's probably one of the funniest people that I've met. Also, I got to say, Jody High Roller, Riff Raff, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. But I just want to throw that out there. Like, he's like, that's what makes it hard. So when he says like crazy shit, I'm just like, he's really funny though. And then when someone like, okay, sorry. And then when
sorry.
I like this bit.
Me too. I'm actually bringing that.
I'll keep doing
I'm bringing that to PK. I'm bringing that to the podcast.
Soundboard is lit, bro.
But other people like in the comments, like people that are
Harley, you gotta have some hotter takes, bro. Come on, let's go. Bring the hot takes now. You got.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, Sam Hyde's funny.
Say the N-word right now.
I said the K word on your stream and then you edited it out, bro. I was upset.
Yeah, you did say the K word, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
We're a bunch of K's here, bro. We're dropping that shit like
you're
butter.
You're not allowed.
Yeah,
YouTube bot at monetization bot does not know. They can't tell. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that out though. Anyways, right, Lynch?
I guess so.
We don't have time. This shit's going up.
I was
What was I even rambling about? I was rambling about some bullshit again.
Your mom.
See, she's a funny guy.
Oh yeah, I just wanted things to be funny. Like he says some fucked up stuff, and I'm like, damn, it's really funny. That's the toughest part. I think Destiny had that take too during the whole creator clash thing. He was like, yeah, it's rough because Sam's very funny. Yeah. So then when people that are like fans of his, I'll see them in my comments, and they're like trying to say some shit, but they're just not. Maybe it's not particularly funny to me. Even racism, it's like funny if it's like Dave Chappelle classic skits are fucking hilarious.
They are
hilarious. But then hearing him talk about the trans thing, I was just like, oh, this isn't funny enough what you're doing right now.
The problem is when people like think they're Dave Chappelle though, they're dropping what they think is fire jokes that are not that good. They're just dumb and suck. You know what I mean?
But like, you ever like, Andrew Schulz has that like amazing blackface joke. I think it was in his special where he says like, oh, if you look at the like Navy SEALs, you kind of think blackface is okay sometimes. And he goes on, I'm not going to tell the whole joke, but he goes off on this like hilarious blackface joke, and he's telling it and he's bringing black people from the audience into it. And he ends up telling this super racist joke, and everyone is fucking dying because it's funny. It's funny. It's offensive, and that's why it's funny. If comedy was supposed to just be perfectly, you're not supposed to expect it. You're not.
I would argue it's like, because I think I've seen that bit. That bit's funny because it's funny. I think what Harley's saying is, a lot of people think Leafy's funny because he's offensive, and it's kind of like,
yeah, that does, but yeah, it doesn't work. It's got to be what I'm saying is it takes more than that.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be offensive.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't because it's working.
But the thing is, you say you can't, but in reality, you can, because look at who's getting the most likes on Twitter, owning all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the line. The line is so hard to find. There's certain things that I got pushback for from like years. One episode like in 2012 being like, I got all these bitches. And like, I remember that was like the first time I got pushback. People were like, I don't know if you should be like referring to women as bitches. And I was like, kind of dumbass shit is this? Like, I remember
you're like, you sound like a bitch
when you put, literally that's like the way I thought. Like if you the experiences I've got over the years were like slow, but when you put something out that's consumed by all different types of people, you get all different types of people's opinions. And there were lots of times where I'm like, people think like this, and now I might be thinking more like them as time has gone on. But I'm always changing. I wonder if I'm going to be like a racist old man. Like maybe my changing is not complete. Maybe I'll be like a racist old man.
Yeah.
Who knows who I'm going to be.
Your final form is fucking Gran Torino.
I know what you're thinking right now.
I know exactly what he's thinking too. But
Yeah.
maybe when you get older, you'd be more open to the being cucked, right? Because you'll be closer to death. You'll be like, oh fuck it. At this point, like, what does it matter?
I don't even know if I want to I don't even know if I'd fuck someone else's wife.
That's a lie.
Again.
Well, I'd be there and I'd be like, is that your kid in the other room? Can they hear me? Do they you know what I'm doing? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not bringing my baby mom to the
check
sex
back in
party.
20. Check back in 20 years. See what happens.
Check back in 20. Let's see if I'm racist.
You're definitely
Watching
closer
my-
now.
He's getting cucked. Yeah.
You're definitely closer now at almost 40.
Mhm.
Let's say between you 17 and 37, you're a lot closer to getting cucked at 37.
Yes, that's for sure.
You're on the cuck spectrum.
I'm like about ready to be popped out the oven. Tom, you were at can you talk about that? You were at Keemstar's place?
Yeah, I think I can talk about it a little bit. Yeah.
That's so sick. You
Did he
hopped
touch
on you hopped on the ATVs?
Yeah, he was like, he was a little tipsy, I think, and we got in the back, and it was really fun. It was super fun. It was like night.
Coke off his Keemstar bar?
No coke at Keemstar's house, and that's verified because there was
Because
someone
Fousey wasn't there. No, I'm kidding around.
there was someone there who was asking for that, and there was no coke.
Tell me after who it was, and I'll keep it a secret. By the way,
Sure, I'll tell you
that
after.
shit.
Sure.
Because then when I see them like at some event, I'm like, "What? I heard they."
You're gonna be like, so did you ever get that coke?
But no, it was just.
I'm gonna be like, "Do you have it on you now?"
It was a nice, wholesome event. It was lots of fun. He has a great house. Him and
Does he
his
have a
girlfriend
pool?
are very nice. No, I don't think so.
Okay, cut that out, Lynch.
How can we
But the
get-
property's amazing. I mean, you've seen pictures of it. It's just what you would
Yeah,
imagine. It's
I
great.
love. He's got that cottage.
All I
with the
saw
camera
was
lights
him
on it.
and Fousey doing like a walkthrough a couple years ago. And I was so excited about that video. I was like,
Where they like drank maple syrup?
that was peak content.
What's
I mean,
up
he
with-
is
what's up
he
with,
is like near Canada, isn't he? So
What's up with him and Fousey? How come they're not? Does Fousey still do Happy Punch also?
I have no idea what the deal is there. I think Fousey
Haven't
fucked off
seen
or something. He's
Fousey
done
in
AFK.
6 years.
Oh, really? Because I
he's
remember
back.
like,
He's back. He's doing transformation again.
yeah, he has got an app.
But as far as
Sam
business
was-
stuff, it looks like he's not really in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Rhode Island, I was like took a phone call with Keemstar and Fousey too, being like, "Tell us about Sam. Is he? You think he would sign with our thing and box in?" And I was like, "You have to call this guy yourself. I'll connect you." Did you get to meet him, by the way, when you went to Texas for the Brandon Ice Poseidon fight?
I met him, yeah.
He's bigger than you thought in person.
Yeah, I mean, I've had friends who are like 6'4", 6'5", and even at that, he's just massive, like goblin physique.
He's huge shoulders and a big skull, eh?
Aren't you a little taller than him?
Maybe a touch,
Okay.
but he's got a far more powerful.
He has like
skull.
large joints. I've noticed, like the joints really stick out, knuckles really stick out, stuff like that.
Yeah, we were making fun of my hands when I was there.
I was.
I have like
Sam looks
Like
like
you have little bitch mitts.
Sam looks like
Yeah.
an orc in person for sure. Yeah.
yeah. He so that fight, Brandon Buckingham was going to be boxing Ice Poseidon.
Yes.
And when I found out that Ice Poseidon was boxing, I had messaged him right away. Some creators that I'm like interested in, they're going to box. I'm like, oh my God. And I was excited that Ice Poseidon was boxing, and then found out that he was boxing Brandon, and Brandon was training with Sam. And I had hit up Ice Poseidon. Ice Poseidon was like, we should train together. I was down with that too. I was like, yeah, we should train together. And, Ice Poseidon bailed. He was supposed to come like train with me for a couple months. And I told Sam, I'd be like, it'll be interesting. It'll be like, I trained with you and now we have our Pokemon like in the ring fighting, and it would be an interesting little thing. And he was like, yeah, for sure. But he's like, when it's like game time, like, like I'm focused on making sure my fighter wins. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And then I hit him up a couple months later. I was like, Ice never came. He never came. But
I never thought
thought it
Ice
would
had a
have been-
chance in that fight just based on consuming his content way back. And
There's no way he
Brandon,
got
I'm like,
enough sleep.
I don't think he's got this. I feel
There's
like
no way Ice Poseidon got enough sleep the night before to win a fight.
Well, he was so cocky during the fight. If you guys saw, he was like
can't
dancing
believe he did
around
that.
and stuff.
I can't believe he did that.
I mean, the
also just, like-
absolute hubris was insane.
Yeah, he's also just like so much, but you expect nothing less from a guy like Ice Poseidon based on all the content I've consumed from him.
Yeah,
Like, he
I mean,
would
Ice
be like,
Ice and Brandon are like same height. I think Brandon just trained harder. Brandon, I think
Absolutely.
Brandon's a bit bigger. I feel like Ice seems
he's
a little
more
more
cut.
frail. You know, if I watch a video of Brandon and watch him, the first thing I thought, I'm like, oh, that seems unfair because Brandon seems like a bigger.
but
dude,
Ice
or
certainly
more-
could have gained more weight, and he just didn't.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that's-
think like Brandon, like if he was in Rhode Island, Sam was probably like pulling up to wherever he was, and he was like, "Let's throw these gloves on right now."
But that's the funny part about all these YouTube influencer type
parking
boxing
lot.
is that some people train and some people are like, oh, I'll just fight. It's all
Can't
good.
believe
Like,
the people
the
that
thing-
don't train.
let's just show up,
Crazy.
no headgear and fight. Like that's just a crazy,
Crazy.
The
mentality.
thing about
to have
Brandon
that
is,
it's-
for that fight, he was big, but I'm really good friends with him. He's stayed at my place a few times. I've stayed at his. I've like met his whole family and stuff. And he's very like, it's hard for him to put on weight. He's naturally like whatever that
Yeah, you could tell he's got that like
body
that
type is. Yeah.
ectomorph.
That
I
thing.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, ectomorph. Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
like naturally like 7% body fat or something insane. He weighs like the same as I do, and he's like 5 inches taller. I'm like he actually way less than me. I'm like 180. I'm 5'10. He's like 6'3". He probably weighs the same, if not less. And actually no, I know he weighs less than me. And for the fight, I think he got up to like 190, and then he had to go back down
Holy
to
fuck.
175. For the
how
fight.
tall are you?
I'm 5'10", so I'm like normal person height. He's pretty tall. But for the fight, he got pretty fucking big. Now, in fairness, he does have like wrestling experience, which maybe translates in some way, just in terms of like the performance nerves and stuff like that, and just moving your body around. But I don't think Brandon would call himself a good boxer by any means. But I think he just trained harder, and I think Ice is someone who maybe is skated by on not really trying a lot of times. I think that's not really putting in a lot
He
of
went in
effort.
there and he handled it.
I mean, he handled it. In fairness, I'm somewhat of an Ice Poseidon hater. I don't like him that much, so I'm somewhat.
Why?
from the beginning, you never liked him, or just
Why,
you-
Donnie?
I thought his content was kind of funny back in the day. I mean, he was kind of like an obnoxious dick, but I mean, I thought that was funny. But the rug pull thing really kind of turned me off.
Oh yeah, that was rough. Yeah, I forgot
but,
about
like,
that.
I also wasn't surprised by that, but the fact
Yeah,
that
I
he was
wasn't
so open
surprised
about
either.
it was kind of the funniest part, but very.
I mean, you want to talk about psychopathic money machine? Like, to me,
Crazy.
Ice Poseidon doesn't seem like someone who genuinely gets enjoyment out of like interpersonal interactions or friendship or anything. It's just like a few numbers on a screen, and even that doesn't seem to satiate him entirely. I don't even know if he's like a happy person. So, yeah, I mean, he's just one of those personality types that you probably wouldn't want to be friends with, if I had to guess.
No, you got to be pretty odd to be. You know, back when he was really running the sort of IRL streaming and he was like doing the buses and had all his characters around, I'm sure he's doing the same shit. But when he was really in the forefront of all content, he did not seem like a guy I'd wanted to hang out with at all.
No, he still does funny stuff.
Anyway,
I mean, he
Did
recently
I
got
want
arrested.
to hang out with him?
He
What
was
for what?
He recently got arrested.
Yeah, he got arrested in Thailand.
in North Korea.
I think it was in Thailand, or
Thailand.
something. So,
Thailand.
so I believe, Bangkok. He got arrested. I don't know all the details. What I was told was that he
He's got to link up with Dr. Huge.
Yeah,
Dr. Huge. From what I was told, he decided to dress up like a girl and do like a lap dance on. I don't know if it was a prostitute or something like that, but there's a video of him, and now there's a video on his Twitter that has 3,000 likes of him. It seems like he's being detained with some other guy, and he's saying, "Hey, it's me, Ice. Just want to say I'm sorry for offending the government of Thailand. I really didn't mean to offend them."
Oh, really?
He's got
They arrested him for like inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, he's got handcuffs on, and he's saying he's sorry. You can look at it. His Twitter right now is his latest tweet, and that's his only tweet, pretty much this month. So
How hard do you have to go for like? I thought
Yeah, Thailand's like a party fucking place.
I think if you're walking around with the camera live,
And-
you're asking for trouble in any place. You know?
Dr. Huge does it. You know Dr. Huge, Tom?
who is Dr. Huge?
You know Connor Murphy?
I do know Connor Murphy.
Do you mean he was the guy Connor Murphy was staying with him recently, like within the last like couple months in Thailand, and they were snorting this drug that makes you horny and hard,
And gives you a 10.
Yeah, and there's a variant of it that gives you a tan also.
Tantalon or whatever.
Imagine
like, yeah, they were
drug that works your dick and your skin. And do you think your dick gets darker? Like,
The craziest thing is
Connor's the really ripped dude that he had like some kind of psychotic break because of Leo Gura, right?
Yeah, he had like he's had a few, but he was very popular for taking a shirt, like man on the street, I'm a nerd, and then like ripping his shirt off and be like, "Would you fuck me?" Type thing. But he did have a mental.
And now he does it too.
And got really into like chakras or something like that, But Dr.
And
Tony,
then like
huge.
pivoted to full like.
But Harley, you got cut off. There, but
PEDs and ladyboys.
the whole thing about him and Connor and him are filming content in Thailand together and living together. This is a few months ago, and they're posting content about PEDs and sort of biohacking. This is their
he's a
whole thing.
biohacker.
They sell a ton of products, and this guy is known in sort of the bodybuilding community. But this other guy, Leo, was there as well, and he was filming content with them. Dr. Huge was before
in the same house.
And Leo showed up dead one day
In the house.
in his room under suspicious. It was suspicious, and this guy was posting. And not only did the guy die, he started his content schedule increased. Like he didn't lessen the amount of content he's put out. He put out hour-long videos addressing, and just the way it came off was just weird. And we got super.
This guy was like dead in the room for like 72 hours, and he was like, I don't know, I thought he was sleeping.
It is a really crazy scenario, and I'm glad that I hope you go and watch like a couple hours and then throw together like a nice like 57-minute video.
So Connor's friend was the one making these videos about his dead friend.
So the Dr. Tony Huge, he was filming content with this guy Leo and Longevity, who basically are like biohackers. And then Connor moved to Thailand. They were all
after the break, by the psychotic break.
After the psychotic break.
After this, this is all post.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the timeline in my head.
Yeah. This is recent, like in the last 6 months or so.
And then Leo shows up dead and it's pretty suspicious. And from there, the content just keeps coming, and him and Connor are filming.
And
content.
Dr. Huge, no markings on him as if he murdered someone. I'm not.
We're not saying he did.
But he was in the house, and he was like, I thought he was like sleeping for 30 hours because like he's like.
Is this
crazy sometimes?
Who is Dr. Huge? Does he have a channel, or does he just hang out on?
He got deleted,
and we don't know why. And then Connor made a video.
That's right.
Connor made a video. Put a screen grab with this podcast in there.
He did, because we were covering it because
like
we got a lot of views from like that whole.
What do you mean? He commented
base
on the video. I think.
Yeah.
We got super because the videos were so strange. I can't explain like everything about it. The whole scenario.
Like let's say you lived with Brandon Buckingham.
Yeah.
And what's it, Rusty Cage.
That's a nightmare already.
So you live with them, right? And then you live with them, and you're out partying.
You're
with
really
Brandon.
tanned, and your dick is really hard.
Your dick's so hard and so dark. And you get home, it's all dark. And then you get home, and you're like cooking up with Brandon, and you're like, Rusty, you want anything to eat? And you don't hear anything, you ignore it, whatever, you go to sleep. 30 hours later, you go in the room and Rusty's dead.
Yeah.
But now, imagine the very next day, you upload a video going to the gun range with Ladyboys and Brandon Buckingham. That was the part to me that I was like, why?
They just kept going.
There
wasn't a pause.
They literally went to the gun range with Ladyboys like the next day.
I guess their mentality is just like, well, guess he's gone.
YouTubers are just like that, bro. That's how YouTubers move. Everyone's out here money making machines, like RIP. But
see, I don't think that would happen to me. The reason why is because if I'm good friends with a guy and he's sleeping and I want to hang out with him, I'll go and hassle him until he's awake and he'll spend time with me. Like Brandon got to my place a few weeks ago after driving from Maryland to like basically Toronto, which is like a ridiculous drive, like 10, 11 hours or something stupid like that. And he got here, he was like, man, I'm so tired. And I was like, dude, that's good because we're going to the gym right now. And I gave him like I got him some pre-workout. We got him in the gym. I have pictures of him on a bench.
What pre-workout was it, by the way?
Gorilla mode.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, it was.
That's like that lean beef patty shit. No,
it's
Is that what you
more
use?
plates, more dates. That guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
come
Derek.
on.
Derek.
Put some respect on Derek.
But I have pictures of Brandon like asleep on one of the benches in the gym. Like,
There's some machines at the gym that are like so
Yeah, they
comfortable.
cradle you nice. Yeah, yeah.
he was just
When
asleep
you- when
like
the-
on one of the benches, like with the free weights or whatever. He was just chilling. He was just like, he had his hoodie wrapped up around his face. And after that, I was like, okay, Brandon, time to go back and hang out and make content and stream. And that night we streamed, and it was awesome.
11 hours, and you're like, let's do it.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah, I
Tom,
think
I'm so tired, Tom. But I was like, we're doing content. It's time to
Dude.
stream.
That's
So in
the
that,
difference.
So in that
That's the
scenario, you
difference.
would have had like 10 ladies with you in the house also.
Yeah, so
Weird-
you wouldn't
with
have
weird
done it
names?
because you lady boys would make you uncomfortable because you're anti-trans.
So I would never be able to
Yes.
tolerate just, I mean, you know, lady boys. I can't actually make that joke, but I would never be able to tolerate
can.
just women in general being around me.
Yeah, you're allowed
Oh.
that.
Yeah, it's just not that fun. You want to live with 10 girls, like 10 of the most annoying fucking creatures you can imagine.
Oh yeah,
Bad
no,
Girls Club.
He would document it.
I live with
Document it.
one, and it's
Would have
like-
to leave.
Trying to stream is unreal, you know.
You wouldn't last in the Bad Girls Club. They'd throw your clothes in the pool so fast.
They would be so pissed off at me. I'd be such a dick. Me and my
They'd be so mad at the money you're not spending on the booze in the house.
when I was in college, I was so fucking bored. I was doing YouTube, and I was trying to make it work, and I was just so bored. And me and my buddy and the other guys on our floor, we were on the top floor of a 4-floor dorm, and the 3 other floors were all girls, and the 4th floor was all guys. And we conceived a plan to cure our boredom, which was to take a shit inside of one of the takeout containers from the cafeteria, like the mess hall, and then put it on the girls' floor and like hide it. And we didn't end up doing that, but that was the kind of shit we
yeah,
were
I know.
brainstorming.
Sure you didn't. Okay.
We did-
Of course
we
you didn't
genuinely-
actually do it.
We genuinely didn't, and the
I
reason why
understand you didn't.
the reason why I didn't is because I was dating a girl at the time, and I called her, and she was so mad at me. She's the one who lives with me right now. She was so mad at that idea. She was like, "I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I think we might have to break up if you did that." And I was like, "Well, I guess that's not worth not having sex ever again." So I decided not to do that. But regardless, that was the kind of stuff I was cooking up. And if I was living in a house of girls, I would definitely just
You'd
be
be hiding
harassing.
shit all over the house.
Yeah.
It would
Oh,
smell
shit,
it would smell
balls.
so bad, and I'd be coordinating with any other guy in the area to do that to them. Girls are too fun to annoy. Have you guys noticed that? Like having sex with a girl is way less fun than like bullying them and like annoying them to the point that they hate you. And I think
It's
that's
also way less fun than having sex with a guy. You'll see that soon enough, though. You know, it's actually a good. You know, it'd be a
there's
great
so many
idea.
girls to annoy though.
You inspired me with what you're saying. I think it'd be a good idea if they did a like fish tank, except it's all really hot girls. And like maybe like one dude like John, you know that guy John, like him, and just like really hot sluts, and it's called Dish Tank, and he's in there with them. I would like
You should
that.
pitch that. That'd be
Yeah.
good. That sounds good.
It's your own little private fantasy there.
All right, well, like I'd have to pitch Jeff.
Harley's like, and the guy is me, and it has to be me.
Yeah. In blackface.
The whole
Well, no,
time.
I want a couple. I want a couple. They them
with the snorting stuff, so his dick is like brown.
Uh,
I don't understand. It makes you tan. Can you explain this?
No, you
that's,
snort
I
it.
don't know
It's
what
not-
part
it's
is
a
the side
needle.
effect.
No,
Is
it's
the
a-
boner the side effect or the skin?
No, the skin is a welcome
Honestly.
side effect. Remember the guy was like, "Oh, I get the sick boner, but I also."
Yeah, he's
like
like,
And
melanin?
he's like, "This is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
great added feature to this." They were like injecting each other's nose. It
Yeah,
was
they put the
really-
needle in their nose,
oh,
which is, and they're
God.
I agree with you.
nostrils.
I'd love to see a full breakdown of this.
I forgot about that detail.
their
It's
videos
not-
were
it's crazy.
amazing.
And I forgot
My
how
opinion,
famous
videos
Connor
are
Murphy was. He has 2.4
It's
million
such a
subs.
big
Huge.
fucking deal. Wait, yeah, such a big deal. I watched all those back then, and I remember like that's like around the time I got to H3, or I was really vibing H3 also, was like when he was pulling up videos like Connor Murphy, because I would watch these videos, I'd be like, who the fuck watches this? And then Ethan would come out and be like clowning on it. I'd be like, thank you. I thought I was going crazy for a minute there.
Yeah.
Wait, Ethan clowned on Connor Murphy? Really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
I didn't even know that. I'd never heard that. Damn.
Didn't he?
He may
I think
have.
they did a
I
whole
just can't
skit.
remember.
I think he was doing, maybe he did a collection of like those types of contents, like pranker type content like that. There may have
Dude.
been a video where he,
What's the fucking regular schmegula guy's name again?
oh my gosh, regular schmegula Lynch. Who is that? The two guys, the brothers. They had the
Ray-
Oh my god, those guys
Ray
are making
something?
kids content. Fucking
Dude, I went back in on
Oh,
that
God.
shit.
They were dressing up
recently.
like a Spider-Man and Elsa. That era of content.
Oh, that was
Mo,
yeah,
Mo
just
and
making
Mo and
money
Ethan, is that what
over
you're talking about?
fish. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're funny. They're fucking funny. Did you see the video they did for H3 podcast at like the peak of COVID? Did you see what they did?
The coffee one? Was it like I saw
Were
some
they-
coffee one that was weird. I don't
well,
know.
dude, they're all coffee ones. But did you see the one where they went to Starbucks and like broke their fucking pot of coffee
So the
there
one-
by accident? It was really cringe.
The one I'm talking about is like more recent. At the peak of COVID, H3 was in contact with the Bradbury brothers, and he got them to shoot a video where they went in
Ethan
public
Bradbury.
and we're talking about COVID and then coughing in people's faces at the peak of it in
Oh,
public.
God.
And supposedly the video was so bad that Ethan like refused to show the full thing, but he was showing it on a screen share, and it was an unlisted video, and the link was on the top, so people got it and re-uploaded it. And it was like one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like they go around talking about COVID and asking people if they think it's real, and if they say they think it's real, they like cough on them.
Oh my God.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking
like-
terrible.
That's like the content where I'm like, you gotta
Fire.
do more. Bring
Yeah.
me more. Like bring.
How do you not get beat up?
I thought it was great
No, you
because
know-
who the fuck would
'cause
do
he-
that? Who would do that?
Yeah, that's the thing is like after after a while, I just like a lot of people would do that.
Yeah, the prank
If
stuff
for the
is-
right amount of money, like the right amount of things, like people would let Jason fuck their wife. Like people for the money, people do some things. I can't.
Don't you ever want to be in one of those situations where those guys are like blowing people's ears? They're probably all
You
fake anyways.
Lynch, you wish,
someone-
bro. You
I mean,
wish,
so-
you
yeah, I
wish
do.
that I
I
coughed
do.
on people's faces during
Someone
COVID
like-
for the channel. Lynch always hit me up and was like, "Bro, you don't want to maybe fight your brother for like drama to get."
No,
the
I
drum
said
ups
you got to
and
do a
views. channels hurt.
a gold digger prank, but with a giant burger. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
you
replace
also
it-
wanted me to bring a
to replace
ukulele on the-
Lamborghini
on
with
the
a giant
podcast.
burger, and that's the whole prank. That's it. The girl starts falling in love with you as soon as you walk up to your 100-pound burger, and you're like, "Oh, this?"
And she's like, "That's your burger?"
You're like, "Oh,
No, you don't
I
like
gotta
it.
go," and then you hop in your bicycle with your 100-pound burger, but she still wants to get with you. I think it's a great bit, personally.
Yeah,
No one's gotten more bad advice than Harley. Like he hasn't taken it, but I've written some stupid things for you too.
no, they were good.
I'm
You
curious,
like,
Tom, if you were, would you ever box someone?
For a lot of money, like for a lot, and I think it's more than it would be worth it to have me box. Like I don't think I would be able to bring in
That's
nearly as much money. Like I would ask for like $500,000, and there's no way anyone should pay me that to box anyone because I would not make that back. But it's like that's what I would lose if I boxed. So
In terms of just stopping and training and having to like actually,
yeah, you gotta stop
dedicate
what you
yourself
do.
to
What
it.
you gotta stop your whole shit for like a year. And the thing is, it honestly like for what a boxer should get paid if they're a YouTuber, I should be paid more than that because then I lose the whole momentum and inertia of my whole shit to do this boxing thing. So like,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah. I had like the amount that I ask for in boxing when people are like, "Well, I don't know if you're worth that." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't want to be here, bro."
Yeah.
I don't need it. And what you're saying, it's interesting. Like real fighters, they do like what they still do. Like they would still do all the
Well,
boxing and everything, and you would have to still do your job. That's like that next
The
level.
real fighters are
sacrifice.
also not like hanging out and talking to each other before the fight. It's all like real beef. It's not.
Yeah, that's a whole
you know,
other thing. That's
yeah,
a whole
it's
other
not-
thing.
It's not even. Can't even.
Yeah.
compare, really.
Some people are
can't-
like that.
I can relate though. Like in my normie job, I do have people sometimes asking me to do it on the side. And I ask for like 3 times what I make at work.
Mm.
And they're like, "Well, why would I pay you that when you make this?" And it's like, because that's what I make while I'm working.
Yeah.
You're asking me to work while I'm not working.
Yeah.
There's a big premium on that.
exactly.
I'm putting 3x if you want my free time is worth a lot more than my work time.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I
Yeah, there needs
I
to
like
be an
the
incentive
idea of
bonus.
fighting someone, but in terms of like practicality, like I feel like I'm in such a privileged position, especially because I'm young. Like I've only had a few years of good income, really like 2. Like for me to stop working now
2?
for a year to box, like that would be. I'm 20, so I've only been doing YouTube.
Yeah, you got
full
a
time for, like,
great
2.5
work
years.
ethic, man.
So you said you were doing
Bubba.
you're trying to make the content work. Was it similar style content that you were doing back then, or what was going on when you were?
I've been doing the same
contemplating
thing roughly for like 7 or 6 years. Yeah. So
7 or 6 years,
since
and it really hit the last 2 years. It started to really work out for you.
the last 2 years, I really focused on like getting it out to the most people possible. Before that, I had this kind of ego thing in my head that was like, oh, I need to be the artist, and I'm not gonna make videos that people would want to watch, and I'm gonna kind of like tailor it in a way that would make me the most happy with the content. And I think that was a really silly way to go about it. So I found like a middle ground now where I get to make the content I want, but I also get to make content that gets people to click and watch, and I get to reap the reward of it.
Mm-hmm. And your upload lately has been like just a lot, a high frequency.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, I gotta just hit it. I gotta.
Dude, 100%, like striking when the iron is hot, so to say, like doing it while people are paying attention now. And I'll be honest, like I watch a lot of your videos.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of those types of videos. I consume them a lot. And it's just like I don't know why yours are particularly easy to consume. Many reasons. I mean, they're clear and concise, and like, you know, you kind of have your takes in there, but they don't overpower the whole episode there or the whole show. And but how do you decide when one scene is going to be like a clip from Wario and another scene will be a cartoon avatar of you? Because I watch the videos sometimes and I'm like, why is this moment the avatar and then now we're getting like Wario? Silly question. It's not really.
The avatar I try to use sparingly these days because, to be honest, I think that it turns a lot of people off to the content. But
Donnie,
I have it in there.
Turns off Donnie, by the way.
I was confused by it a little bit, but
he's a normie boomer guy.
So the cartoon avatar is kind of a holdover from a lot of the YouTubers I used to watch growing up, and nobody really does that.
You ever watched The Right Opinion?
Yeah, The Right Opinion. I mean, I'm good friends with him actually.
In person?
We've met in person, but I mean, I've known him for a long time as well.
You talked to him lately?
Yeah.
Tom, I said he's awesome.
I will.
I mean, I've told him that before. I DM'd him like years ago, like when one of his first videos popped off for me, and every time he drops one, I'm like, "Whoa, that's a surprise! Guess I'm watching for 3.5 hours now."
Yeah,
they're great.
I just saw him like 1 week ago in Los Angeles, and he stayed at my apartment before with another friend for like a whole week. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we're good buddies, but there's a lot of people like I Hate Everything and a lot of like commentary channels from back in the day that used to use this cartoon avatar. And for whatever reason, it always captured me when I was younger. And to be honest, it's probably something I should drop at some point. But it's helpful for branding and stuff and like selling.
No, I think it's cool. It doesn't bother me.
I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Would you say, are you a based guy?
Am I a based guy?
Based? Yeah. Is your content consumption based? It's not really woke, eh?
You probably wouldn't call me right wing, but I'm definitely not like a leftist.
Yeah, but are you based?
I don't know. I guess a little bit. Are you a based guy? Are you red pilled?
I think I looked. I think I'm white pilled, which means white men. White men. No, it's means everything is not okay, and that's fine.
That's
like it's just like
I think
I'm kind of.
I think that's like the black pill is like everything's not okay and I feel like shit about it. The white pill is like,
yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably white pilled because to me the white pill, which is probably the stage I'm at as well, is like there's a lot of things that are fucked up, but you just need to focus on what you can control. It's like that Bible passage, just like God give me the strength to. Was it like accept the things I can't change?
I think that's the AA mantra, not from the Bible.
Is it?
They took it from the Bible.
I think they took it from
the Bible. They got sued, actually.
They got sued by Big Bible.
Whatever the case, AA. Maybe I did hear that from AA because I have family.
My wrestler name.
But that's real. I think that's a good motto to live by. I think what you can't control is just not worth focusing on, and what you can, you just need to put all your energy into at all times. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Sounds like stoicism. Yeah.
Well, I've seen like the secular version of that is there's like a flow chart where it's like, do you have a problem? Yes, no. You know, and it's like, okay, yes. Can you do anything about it? Yes, no. If the answer is yes, then do something.
The other question is like, do you have a problem? Do you have to care about that problem? Should you care about that problem?
So you said you're 20 years old?
Yeah.
You said you're 20? That's a good perspective to have at that age. I don't think many people have figured that part of it out, because it is hard to understand that some things are out of your control.
Well,
especially for a chronically online 20-year-old.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do think that's not a common perspective when you're that age.
I promise you, in all the ways that most 20-year-olds are retarded, I am too. I think I've spent a lot of time online, and so I've had to go through like the growing pains of being a creator that most people, like the embarrassing parts that most people have to deal with at 25 because they start when they're 22. I had to deal with when I was 16. Yeah. So it's just
right. Yeah.
I mean, I had 100,000 subscribers when I was 16 years old. So I've just been
crazy
riding it out.
That's
crazy. It was old men watching you as a child.
Maybe. I've had a lot of comments from people who are like, "Oh, you're 20? I was watching you when I was 20 and you were 14," which is weird, really weird, but
and like it's like they're like, "What do we do now?" You don't do
now. Can I walk you to your truck?
Truck walk.
I can't talk.
Did you do you still not like Hasan?
I don't have a positive opinion of him. Yeah, I would say that. I actually met him at that party. That
you sound like Lynch. Sound like Lynch. I was gonna ask if you were there for Brandon and Tom interacting with Brandon in a Sam shirt.
So I saw they interacted. I wasn't up close when that happened. I don't know if I talked to Hasan before or after, but I don't think he knew who I was. Which is fair. I don't like my face isn't really out there, and I don't
can't believe he big timed you like that. He knows exactly. He spoke to me about you. No, I'm joking.
I tried to talk to him and just kind of get a feel of what he was like and just have a conversation about something light. And he was totally like dismissive. He wouldn't like make eye contact with me or talk to me. I'm not really sure why, but he was very he like averted his gaze. He wouldn't really.
What are the chances that he knows you have a video called "I do not like Hasan"?
Extremely low. I don't think he saw
so,
that.
But what if? You never know.
My face isn't in that. My face isn't in that video.
But his face isn't in it. So I feel like he's just.
And my face is only a more recent thing, and I also have facial hair, which is a more recent thing. So I think if he,
Congratulations.
What if he's like, what is this person I keep getting recommended? And then he clicks the name. Maybe he has a habit. I don't know. I'm making this up. Maybe he's like, I wonder if they ever murked me in a video, and he typed in his name.
If that is the case and he knew who I was, if that is the case, then I don't know why he would have acted like that. I think he just perceived me as some little punk he didn't want to talk to. But I've heard that a lot about Hasan, that he's just kind of a douche in some social interactions. So it is what it is, you know.
I see. It's tough for me. Like my first interaction I had, like it was like at a party we were throwing for my show at the time, and he was there and he told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I met you years ago." Like before he was doing anything, I think he was like an intern at Young Turks. Yeah, and whenever that happens, I'm always like, "Oh fuck!" It's probably like the weird times when I was like wasted and popping off. And he was like, "Yeah, you were nice." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So maybe he's just nice back to me because I was nice to him at one point. But I watch Destiny and I watch Hasan, and those guys don't like each other.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I'm a certified Hasan hater is because of the Destiny shit, their drama, their interactions.
Oh, really? Didn't Destiny and Hasan, like, didn't he basically...
Destiny made that bitch famous.
Gave him a major bump?
Destiny made that bitch famous, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I do like consuming content from all different types of people. My algorithm is insane. It's like so confused. But...
well, aren't you special? You see all sides.
Something about Hasan is he doesn't really get into the weeds, and Destiny goes head first into the weeds all the time. Like, you know, Hasan will talk about things on his podcast, but Destiny will be like in a weird place with weird people talking about it.
That's why I love Destiny, because Destiny will go the extra mile. Hasan will never do that. Hasan likes to sit in his little ivory tower and be in his safe space and not.
Was Destiny always doing that, or is that a recent thing? Because that's where I've been catching a lot.
Destiny's always been like that.
He's showing up everywhere on other people's shows, just like randomly. I'm like, oh.
Well, I think what you got to realize is Destiny streams like all day, and for a lot of that time, he's talking to people. And you can be any random nobody. If you email him, he'll probably have a conversation with you.
You know what the hard part with the Destiny for me is? It's hard for me to get over. So like him clicking all the time and staring at his computer, like kind of drives me crazy when I watch.
He's just.
I'm always impressed.
I understand it.
He's an autistic king. He's got stuff to do.
Yeah, I get it, but that part just like it's hard for me as a just to like to get through that. But I like seeing him on other shows, and I've seen him on a few things where I'm like, okay, I'll consume both, but I don't have an opinion either way.
Fair enough.
You guys ever watch D'Angelo Wallace, by the way? You never watched that channel?
Yeah, I know of him. I'm familiar.
What?
You know, do you know why I gave that reaction?
No.
So years ago, I was in this group chat of people my age on Discord. Okay, I want to say I was 15 to 16. One of those was a fellow YouTuber named LS Mark, actually, who you may know, Harley. He's got like 500K. But we were in a group chat, and some very edgy things were said by me. If you look up TurkeyTom N-word, you can see the screenshots.
No, I didn't know that.
So I was saying the N-word quite a bit. And so at one point, one of those people that was in that group chat, keep in mind, there were multiple black people in that group chat who didn't have a problem with what I said because they knew my intentions. But the white chick, obviously in that group chat, she ended up messaging D'Angelo Wallace some screenshots of me saying some unscrupulous things in an attempt to like expose the racist. And she sent it to him and he made a video about it. So that's, it's got like 2 million views actually. So
it probably has 2 million views because it's probably an incredible video. He's very good at making videos, that guy.
This was actually before he blew up, too. He had like 150K subs at the time. I had like around the same.
When was that?
2018 or 19, I want to say.
Okay. I didn't know that when I brought that up, by the way. Never been a gotcha YouTuber, just so you know. I've never been the type of YouTuber that would like...
I didn't think you were bringing up a gotcha. I just thought you were making a joke. I mean, I'm willing to talk about it. No. I thought you were like making like a kind of a snide joke to like, you know, poke a little bit, but... yeah, so
no, my bad. Well, actually,
no,
you're
okay.
bad.
It's okay.
Why would you do that? No, I had I like he's a person that'll like be a lot on my recommended feed, and like he's like just type of guy that like I don't want to hear shit about Andrew Tate anymore. And then he drops like a 1 hour plus like video about Andrew Tate, and I'm like, that's a fucking good
to be honest with you, I don't
done with this shit.
I don't watch his recent videos. I'm curious what your take is. Like what makes them good? Because the only video I've seen by him, I think, is that video that he made about me.
He has a perspective that is like he's one of those people, you know, and there are lots of people in my life that I do this with that I'll hang out with and I'll like say some shit that maybe disappoints them. Maybe you said some shit that maybe you thought that I was like, my reaction was like, or whatever. Like I'll be like that to some people. This is like a very smart young man that I feel like should I have any encounters with him, I could only disappoint this person. And his perspective on things is I always like when someone can word something, and Destiny's incredible at this, can word something that I'm feeling, but I could never put into two concise sentences. I have a problem with fucking rambling way too much when I'm trying to say something simple. That guy puts into words a fresh perspective from what I'm thinking and does it in a good and concise way. So
1 hour doesn't sound very concise, dude.
Yeah, so excited to see the video you made about you.
It's an interesting video.
Is
If
this
you watch
that made
it,
the
it's
video?
kind of a time capsule. So,
oh, is it?
It is, yeah.
I actually like that. That's like vlogging was low key just fucking dumb, but having a time capsule minus ones with like my ex-girlfriend in them is like actually just cool to go back and have like this little diary of stuff. I've never been like the type of YouTuber that would encounter someone, hang with them, low key record them, film them, something like that, and like throw it out there. It's I don't know. Some people put content first. How many encounters have you had with other YouTubers? What have you like?
Me?
Your friends are YouTubers. Yeah.
I've had a lot, actually. Yeah, I've had a lot the past few years.
Because that Florida scenario, you were like, oh yeah, it felt like high school. That Florida one felt so much fresher to me than the usual LA one that I'm normally used to. The Florida content creators were very fresh for me, and it felt less high school, like popularity contest, and felt more like high school anarchy at recess.
I think I just don't like huge, I mean, part of it's I don't like huge parties and gatherings, like unless it's a bunch of people that I think are cool and I think are swag, but a lot of the people there have a very different energy than me. They probably don't have the same humor as me. They probably think very different.
Yeah, they wanted Froggy off the card and you wanted him on.
Exactly. And that's every person in that room is probably opposed to the opinion that I had. And I think most of them,
And they were sex workers.
I think most of them,
And you're disgusted by people's sex lives.
most of them,
So
unlike you, I think would probably not even be willing to have a conversation or entertain that with me.
No, I don't think you're like there's a lot of creators like that. Like I think like someone like Keemstar, but like I don't think people see you like that.
I don't think they necessarily see me like that. I don't think they'd ever be willing to have a conversation about it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? You know, it's really tricky dealing with YouTubers because you're dealing with a person who is like, I'm so cool. I'm going to make a channel that's my name and I'm going to film me and I'm going to tell people to like me and follow me. And then I'm going to sell merch with my face on it. And I'm going to send my underwear to a 15-year-old. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to make a rap song. And like, it's that type of person.
Yeah.
Baseline. That's the foundation of a YouTuber. They're that person.
It's not just any
So you get
YouTuber though,
weird-
because like what I do and what a lot of people who do what I do is more impersonal. It's less about like my personality. My personality is on my second channel, but at the end of the day, it's not just me doing things. Imagine being just constantly validated for just doing things that you would normally do otherwise. And there was a lot of those people in that room, and that made me feel intensely uncomfortable. I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm. But like someone in that room was like, I have tits, and it gets like 3 million like engagement on Twitter.
That doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. Like on its own.
yeah.
I mean, those people are probably prone to not like me because, you know, of whatever. But I don't. That on its own.
Because
doesn't
you
really
ain't
bother me.
paying. You ain't paying, Tom. You're spoken for. You already got a girlfriend.
Exactly.
They're getting nothing from you.
Yeah.
They're not even getting dick.
But it's just like I felt like I was in enemy
money.
territory because there's a certain culture of people. Like there were like, I saw fucking what's his name?
Rusty Cage.
No, I love Rusty Cage. Mike from PA. You know
Wavy
Mike
Web
from
Surf.
PA? You know who that is?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, even that sounds familiar
Even
to
you,
me.
Donnie?
Mike from
Yeah,
PA is
I
this
know
like
nobody.
leftist Twitch streamer Hasan clone.
Oh, there you go.
Who has had a lot of funny moments, and it just like I saw people like him there. I saw a lot of like bigger face cam commentary channels there who come from a very like kind of left leaning perspective, who are like your typical.
Oh, you made a video on this guy.
I did, yeah. There's a lot of people there who are kind of like, well, it's a video, it's like a meme video, like a Linkin Park music video with him involved. But there's a lot of people there who I got the impression are there's like a type of male that exists nowadays. I think iDubbbz has fallen into it now. Like Curtis Connor, Eddie Burback. It's kind of a crowd of people who posit themselves as like kind of a leftist, if not like farther left than liberal, white male who is non-threatening, has a mullet, does not go to the gym, God forbid, and kind of posits themselves as like, you know, oh, I'm just a nice guy. I'm just like a cool, quirky white dude that says things, but I'm down with social issues and I have bisexual lighting and I have the right haircut and I, you know, say the right things on YouTube. And it just feels like a very kind of contrived genre of people.
Keep describing Harley.
I was gonna say my sexual lighting is a little.
Does that sound like
spot on.
Harley?
Yeah. Not some things, but not all of it.
But the thing is, you come from a different generation of YouTube. I'm talking about a specific generation of YouTubers who were at this party and are friends with iDubbbz, and it's just not a crowd that I fuck with. Like the people that I grew up
You
watching.
don't fuck with Eddie Burback videos at all?
No, I don't.
You never saw his twins video? It's a good one if you ever did watch.
No, I mean just it's and for me it's in the same way that they probably don't like my videos. It's less about what they say and it's like
It's
how they
interesting
say.
though,
it.
but I like your videos, and I'd watch those videos. Like I like both.
Yeah, I mean
and you see a lot of
from a viewer perspective, I think it's different. But I think that like I grew up watching Leafy. All those dudes fucking hate Leafy. They really don't like.
Yeah, but I grew up watching Leafy also. Well,
Yeah,
not
me
grew
too.
up, but I watched Leafy also, and I like.
Don't hate them.
Well, I don't like.
I don't know that I hate them, but from
I don't like Leafy.
from an aesthetic,
You gotta see what's going on. You see what's going on. Shit's popping off. And another thing is your numbers are going up right now. So like you're experiencing like benefits right now that might be bothering some people. I'm not talking about them at all. I'm just saying you're working in a space where there's a number over your head and people value that. And if their number is going one way and yours is going another way, that will make people feel away. And I've known this because I've had my numbers really up, and I've been like, they've been down, and then I've essentially been in a place where it's like I'm not doing anything for certain people. And I've seen the way people act differently about things. And like, there is something to consider, is that you're also like doing well, and maybe that bothers people. Maybe it doesn't. And
it's a type of person that I think if I was around them, I'd have to really walk on eggshells to avoid saying something that would upset them. And it's not because of any like opinion I hold, because
I bothered people at Creator Clash making jokes, actually.
And I've had those interactions, and I really don't enjoy that static and that friction, because I mean, maybe in the moment you don't feel it, but those people are very like catty, and they talk a lot behind the scenes. And it will become like a thing where you'll hear rumors about yourself from other people.
About yourself.
And it's some,
hanging out with us.
Some twisted version of what actually happened. And it's not happened to me often, but when it does, it's like, ooh, you can kind of trace it back and see where it started. And I think it oftentimes comes from a very certain kind of clique of YouTube people. There's a lot of YouTubers that have come up in the last, I want to say 4 to 5 years, that kind of fit into this archetype of person. And there's kind of like a socialite circle around them. And, I'm happy for their success, and I'm glad they're doing it and killing it. But definitely when I walked into that room, there were a few names that are really cool that stood out to me. Like Matt Pat was there. I think Matt Pat is the shit. He's really cool.
I'm the first person I saw there.
There were a lot of other people there there were some people I noticed that I didn't really make an effort to talk to them, and I kind of wish I had, because I think they're funny. But I guess, in a way, I guess social anxiety got the best of me.
I love my parasocial relationships. Like, I was there, and like fucking like a drunken goober, like falling over himself, stumbling. I like grabbed him. I'm like, yo, and he's like, 1 second, bro. And he looked, and he noticed it was me, and it was Act Man. And I've watched all his videos, and like I'll tweet back and forth. That's the person who said fucked up shit on Twitter.
Act Man is a cool guy.
I saw, and I was like I'm so happy to see this fucking dude, and he's just like a fucking like goober that likes Halo, and I'm like shaking him, and I'm like, bro, you're here. And like, it's people like I love when I saw people, and I went to that thing, and I was like hyped up. I'm like, yo, there's like 18 YouTubers that I watch here. This guy Gunner Klein?
He's cool. Yeah. Gunner TV.
Yeah. His videos started to get popped up for me in the last year and a half. Good videos also. Good vibes. Like seeing him, and I'm like, bro, you're here right now. And for him, he was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but there's just,
I was like, I watch you.
There's just this crowd of people there that I mean, I think exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe it's hard to put into words.
I do. It is. It's like that. It's the type of person in the scenario.
And you're someone who's more, I think, outgoing in that way and willing to talk to anyone and kind of put a little bit of your skin on the line for that, to have those cool social interactions. And I'm just not that person. Maybe I will be eventually, but I
would have saw you. I would have tackled you.
If you had seen me, that would have been cool. But
yeah,
there were some other people there. Even there was this dude there that I knew. I won't name him, but I saw him and I hadn't talked to him in a long time. And I'm pretty sure he stopped interacting with me because I was a little edgy. And I saw him in person. He didn't recognize who I was at first, but I decided.
Well, you mean you're talking about when you were racist? When you
yeah,
said you were
sure. When I was racist, okay. Sure. So I decided to go say hi to him. He didn't know who I was at first, and I knew that would, like, going in. I was kind of banking on that, but I was like,
you were like, don't recognize me, huh? After all these views I've been getting,
after my guns, but I was like, hey, it's me, and he was like, oh shit, and he like seemed caught off guard for a sec, and he was like taken aback, and he like kind of did a double take, and then he gave me a hug, and he was like, no, nice to see you, bro, nice to see you, but
I love that shit. I love that.
But I see that was a weird. I didn't love that much. I didn't love it.
You have to learn to love that moment, because it's like the best. You could, because if you feel that way, they're probably feeling that way. And I don't know why, but I like that when someone's like not in the mood to see me, and I'm like, look who it is. And I also don't want to see them. But I'm like, I'm banking on the fact that if I could just convince myself I'm enjoying this a little bit.
But there's
maybe they will.
There's this kind of like cultural divergence that's happened on the internet, where that's, especially in the past years, there's a separation going on where like some people are cool with like funny stuff and like edgy stuff, and like maybe they don't participate in it, but they think it's funny. And some people are totally like culturally, it's not even just like a political thing, it's like a cultural social thing. And it's like for them, it's like there's like the in group and then there's the out group. And I very much feel like I'm not in the in group, and I don't want to be. But when I walked in that party, I felt like oh, Hasan's here. There's a bunch of other names here that are just, I'm really not like about it.
You had more people there than you thought you did. I think Lynch would attest to that also. Like that scenario, like I'll tell you something. When I filmed with Sam, I got a lot of DMs from content creators that were like, yo, low key, love that you linked up. I've always loved him. And then when the Froggy shit was going down, I got people messaging me that were like, I don't want to be involved, but low key, I 1000% agree with you. And it's exactly what you're saying. These are people that were at the same party and are like, what up?
But I didn't want to have to, I didn't want to have to sift through them.
Yeah, those parties already are like just weird.
Lynch hates that. Lynch more like you.
I've been all the VidCons, all the different parties with Harley, and he likes it way more than I do. Not that I'm I'm not on camera talent, but
because I'm like, bro, they should come back to our place and we can fuck them.
When I go to parties like that, my general approach is I put my hat on and I keep it kind of low so people can't see my eyes, and hopefully no one recognizes me. And thankfully, no one there really did. And I stick around for the minimum time possible, and then I get out. I think I was there for half an hour.
Gotta start doing key bumps in the corner.
He's gotta start hanging out with us. He should have found us at the party.
Yeah, next one. Doing our
that's it. We'll see you guys next time for sure.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
Not that there's gonna be another creator class, but you know.
Do you think
is that the end of your video?
I don't think they'll do one next year, but I think perhaps the next year. But what do you think? You think they won't do one? What do you guys think?
I think they would.
I think the only way to get your money back is to waste more of it. He's got to try to make it back on the next one.
I think they would. I think there's still like value in what was done. Obviously, I think iDubbbz in the video, and I watched it the other day, is like admittedly said he made some mistakes. I mean, it's whether
he probably wants a chance to correct it.
Whether you think you can like fix that and make it a make it like
the question is, are you fighting Harley in Creator Clash 3? That's what's funny is like
I have a 3-fight deal for money and I haven't taken it.
Yeah, I think I think like I still am like not recommending Harley be just boxing, because I think the part that gets lost in all this, especially with all the
is my brain cells,
is people don't really think about the aspect that people really are getting punched in the face. It's not.
Oh, like, do they not?
It's weird to never box and then be like, I'm gonna box with no headgear on. That's the weird
headgear
thing
does
to do.
Nothing.
It does more than
CTE.
having none of it.
All it does is prevent cuts around your
minimal
bone.
Skills to box. I have someone who watches a lot of fighting, a lot of boxing, a lot of everything for my whole life. That part of it is, I feel like, is like lost in a lot of the conversation sometimes. That's part of the interest. That's what gets people to go and actually watch it. Is to see like, well, how will this person fight? They've never fought before. I just think that part really, in the whole discourse of what goes on.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's the interesting part, is that they're YouTubers that are boxing. I think it actually gets less interesting when you get to year 3 and everyone's been training and dieting. It's like, okay, so now everyone's just trying to be a boxer, and that's never what it was supposed to be.
That's the alluring part of Creator Clash, in my opinion. I wanted to see Crank gameplays get in the ring. I liked seeing Crank gameplays like get muscle. That's it.
I'm not saying no training, but I'm just saying, like, once you get to
1 year, I'm saying
3,
like
4,
1
5.
year.
I think there's just maybe been too many events. I'm still amazed at how many Misfits events go down. It's a crazy.
There's one in like a week.
There's so many going on. There's all these gimmicks. You know.
Do you think they're gonna do another Creator Clash, Tom?
Maybe in like 2 or 3 years. I think it's gonna take a bit. Isn't someone trying to steal it from iDubbbz? They're trying to take control.
What do you hear? What do you mean? What you
in
hear?
his video? No, let's see what you heard.
No, go
in
ahead.
Ian's video. He says someone's trying to take control of Creator Clash, and he doesn't want to talk much about it beyond that. But he said someone's trying to take control.
It's the million pirates are trying.
No, he says someone's trying to take control of the event to run it, and maybe they should, considering the fact that it was so mismanaged, apparently. But yeah.
It's hard because you do have to give credit for the first year, though, right? At the end of the day, he put on an event like that. That is a real thing. That's like
1 out of 2.
A very difficult. That's pretty difficult to do. I mean, I would say that when we went there, we're like, wow, this is actually looking pretty.
Harley,
good.
what did you hear, buddy?
Second one,
what do you want to talk about? What do you want to spill that you probably shouldn't?
Thanks for coming on. What do you want to plug to the 480 50-year-old dudes listening right now.
YouTube.com/PewDiePie. Check me out. Been doing it for a little bit now and going well. So be sure to check me out. Probably never heard of me.
Yeah.
Go there, click unsubscribe.
Lynch, hold it down also. Donnie, thanks a lot. All right, guys.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye.